Hello, and welcome to week 4. This week, we're going to continue looking at communication and communication tools that can help project managers in the role of developing and managing their project teams. Previously, we've talked about project management as a science as well as an art. And you're going to see that this week as we look into some techniques for conflict resolutions, some steps for negotiating within the project, as well as some motivational theories that can help you motivate your individual team members. Some of these concepts, techniques, or theories you may have seen before, but this week I want you to really look at them in view of the project manager's role with their teams. For example, we're going to look at 5 techniques for conflict resolutions. They are avoid, accommodate, compromise, collaborate, and force. Most people have a typical way that they approach conflict. Some people will do whatever they can to avoid a conflict. They are willing to forego their wishes and desires just to keep peace and avoid conflict at any cost. Others often take an accommodating approach. They're willing to put the needs of others before them and will make decisions based on that. Still, others will dig in and always want to try and find a solution that makes everyone or the most people happy. As a project manager, though, you need to look at each individual conflict situation and determine which technique is going to be the most appropriate. So, this will sometimes take you out of your comfort zone if your go to conflict technique is not the best for the situation you're in. You'll also be taking a look at negotiation and what that means in project management. The article you'll be reading is a little bit of an older article, but it still offers good information. This is where the project manager will use persuasive communication to aid in the project success. There are many times that project managers will need to have good negotiation skills, such as when they need to negotiate fair prices from vendors or negotiate for needed resources, and so on. Another article you'll be reading this week talks about how to improve a project team's effectiveness. This really is a significant goal of a project manager. How can I make my team as effective as possible? I like how this article not only looks at the project manager's role in improving the team's effectiveness, but it also looks at the organization's role as well as the project team's role in this. Along the same lines, you will be reading about motivational theories that can help project managers motivate their team members to perform at their best. This is a topic that I think gets glossed over quite a bit. Everyone knows or feels that a project manager should work to motivate their team members, but few actually put the time into understanding what that means and how to go about that. I'm sure if we all took a couple minutes, we could think of personal or professional times when we were part of a team that motivation was high to do your best versus being part of a team where everyone just kind of went through the motions to get the work done. I know that I love being part of the first teams. This is where I thrive. I want to be in situations where I'm challenged to give my best. It's so much more rewarding. So, what creates the difference in these two atmospheres? Project managers' leadership style, project managers who know their team members so they can learn how to best motivate them, project managers who can communicate goals, expectations, and incentives. So, for this week's discussion thread, you will read about 5 different motivational theories, and then you will pick one of those to explore and discuss with your classmates. My challenge for you this week, as you learn about conflict resolution techniques, things you need to know about negotiation, and motivational theories, is to not just focus on the science or knowledge of these topics, but to start thinking about the art of them or the application. Don't only think about how they can be applied in your future professional roles, but how can you apply them now? If you have a conflict with your roommates, what resolution technique would be best used in the situation? If you are working on a group project, How can you motivate your group to do their best work? If you practice these things now as you're learning them, you'll be that much more prepared in your future project manager roles or even as a project team member. For this week's assignment, I want you to write a 3 to 5 page paper discussing the 5 conflict resolution techniques as they pertain to project managers. For each of these 5 techniques, I want you to discuss the pros and cons of the technique. What are the benefits of using that technique? What are the downfalls of using that technique? Next, I would like you to describe in general when that technique should be used. For example, for many small conflicts that most likely will resolve on their own, it might be best for a project manager to avoid that conflict. Then, finally, give an example of a specific situation that would best be handled with the given technique. In this instance, you would provide a specific, fictitious situation that avoiding would be the most appropriate technique to use. You will again have a quiz covering this week's material. A couple words regarding the quizzes. I have shared that my intention with regard to the quizzes is for you to show me that you have reviewed and understand the material provided. If you read the articles, view the presentations and videos, and take notes as you do so, you should be prepared for the quizzes. When I ask short answer questions, I'm looking for you to answer the question in your own words based on the week's material presented. If you just answer the question using the author's exact words, this does not show me that you have an understanding of the material. Hopefully this is enough to help you with this week's work. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I hope you have a great week.